anything. I'll pass it to Lauren.
Thanks, Rochelle. Yeah, my intentions are just to see what we to talk about and leave any feedback or offer any. I'm not super distracted. I'll pass it down.
Did you say me?
Ashley?
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I missed that part. My intentions for I think my connection's a little bit slow.
Yep.
I'm sorry. My intentions for the call are just to see what's on the agenda, maybe talk about the hackathon things. I saw that was on the agenda, and to stream. My distractions are just my connection is kind of bad, and I'm working on some things in the background. And I will pass it to Griff.
GM. My intention is to talk about fundraising and like our situation with funding, but maybe that's more for the Stewards call in the second half. And then distractions, just DMs. There's some DMs. I'll throw it over to Frashelle. Like I haven't seen Frashelle's. Oh no, Frashelle already went, but I haven't seen Frashelle's DM yet. For instance, I want to look at that. I'll throw it over to Santi.
Thank you, Griff, GM, everyone. Just here to go over the agenda, make sure I vote on everything that's required, and no distractions. I don't know if Subi went.
I haven't. So my intention is just to go through the agenda and listen to what's happening here and check out the forum. And I think everyone has gone so far. Yes, I'll pass it back to Mitch.
Cool. Great. I think then we'll leave the fundraising and funding thing for the Stewards call in 25 minutes, Griff. Okay, no problem. Great. Then we'll just move on through the things. The thing here, snapshot forum, maybe I'll just let Lauren talk, but there's a snapshot vote up for continuing the rewards for Give Power. And maybe you want to let us know a little bit more about that, Lauren?
Yeah, for sure. So basically we have people who've locked and staked all their Give tokens and Give Power, and the rewards and expire tomorrow. So they'll run out, and then we'd have no APRs if we did nothing about this. So basically we're requesting 12.5 million Give in order to continue the incentives program for the next 6 months. This is a little bit less than we requested for the last 6 months, and we're just going to kind of basically reduce the APRs by half, but still continue the rewards program in order to preserve some Give. So we're already Give Economy Working Group's already moving forward with continuing the incentives program and using that 12.5 million Give, but the snapshot's up there, and if if it takes an unlikely turn for the south and people are no, we didn't want to do that, then we'll have to figure out where else we could get the Give. But basically we're requesting the Give that was allocated initially to create a multi-chain trace, and a little bit that was supposed to be used for Give matching. And because we did a whole different thing with QF and fundraising and stuff for that, and we're not going to do multi-chain trace because trace is deprecated. So that's where we're requesting rewards from, and that's kind of the process, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Cool. I think you requested, was it 16 million last time?
It was 13 million last time, 7 million the first time, 13 million the next time, because we wanted to maintain the same APRs. And basically there's kind of linear inflation. So therefore linear increases in the amount of Give that people are staking. So last time we kind of did it, we were let's try to maintain the APRs. So we asked for double the rewards as we did for the first 6 months, but I don't think that we should continue on that trajectory. And right now with the bear market, basically there's not really hot yield generating opportunities anyways. So I think APRs between 6 and 30 are still pretty fine. Yeah, so we're requesting slightly less this 6 month period as last 6 month period.
Okay. And just to be clear, you're voting on where the funding should come from or the amount?
It's both. It's like, yeah, should we use, can we use this give for incentives? And like, definitely open to feedback in the forum. If you like have a comment and you're like, I think there should be more, or I think there should be less. And then, yeah, but you know, because the time was so limited, it's just kind of like, I discussed it with Griff and looked at the numbers, and we made a spreadsheet with some projections, and yeah, kind of like dove into it. So, I mean, I think the amount is like kind of, I think the amount is a good amount, and I mean, I'm open to like arguments against it, but I'm not sure there'll be like a compelling discussion that would make us want to change it. I'm also not really sure like if that should necessarily fall to the total DAO decision or to the Give Economy Working Group. I mean, if the DAO is okay with the Give Economy Working Group getting these incentives, I don't know. You know, it's I get confused with the sub-DAOification. Basically, it's like, what is our decision and what is not our decision, and like, but anyway.
I think on that, I think the Give token holders for sure get to decide the Give issuance rate. That is definitely inside of their purview. So if they have a strong disagreement about this, then like, you know, I think that it's fair that, hey, like we have to do this emergency thing, you know, kind of to make the APRs not go to zero. No one wants that. But then we need to, if there's a big disagreement about it, like we need to hear that and adjust it.
What I understand is there's no time because this got put off so long that it's like, oh, we need to do this tomorrow. So there's not really any space to have a discussion before the action's being taken.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of true, but like if people voted to not allocate that amount, instead we wanted to allocate a different amount, like, you know, we can change the notify reward bots like in 2 weeks and set the different allocation rate and kind of like, you know, backtrack what we're doing and change it. So it's like, you know, just for this first period, we're going ahead with that plan, but like it can be changed.
Cool. I guess my only comment is it would have been nice to have the time to like actually like talk about it. Instead, it's like, okay, this happened in a spreadsheet. I talked to Griff about it, and then, you know, this is what we really should do, and we're going to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it would be nice if there was a lot more time for a lot more things, but that's just not the way that life works for me, apparently.
Lots of curveballs. I get it. Yeah. Okay. I'll let someone else talk if they have anything else to say.
I just want to say, like, I think it's I'm glad that the discussion is happening. It sucks that it's too late to like do whatever. You know, I think because it's late, we have to execute on this current plan, but vote your opinion on the plan. And I think we have to execute it anyway, because having our APRs go to zero looks like the application is broken. It's not really, I mean, for me, that's not in the purview of the Give token holders. This is that part of it, is like the fact that we have to do an emergency like maintenance mode is like the DApp working group and the Give Economy working group, like having product management decisions, but vote your opinion on the plan. That idea, you know, that like we should allocate more or we should allocate less or something like that. Say it on the forum and vote no on, like, we can't let the APRs go to zero. People could crash the Give token price.
Yeah, and I mean, just to elaborate on that, executing on the plan, like it can be for the first 2 weeks we execute with that first amount of Give going out, but like after 2 weeks, we can change it to be a greater amount or a lesser amount, depending on how token holders vote. So,
is this what I'm supposed to be looking at?
Yeah, it's the tab that says October 23rd. Exactly. I mean, well, you know, there is a video in the forum at the very beginning that explains how the spreadsheet was used and calculated that was recorded like last summer. But I'm also happy to record another one or walk you through it. I could walk you through it slightly now if you wanted to.
I just need 5 minutes just to like
I mean, the main thing is the things that we changed are the green ones. So the average APR we're assuming is 19.54% for on average for give stakers who are locking or not locking. Like the average locker or not locker is getting 20%. We're assuming that 40% are locking for the max and 25% are not locking at all. And then we just make a general assumption that everyone else is locking. Like the other 35% is locking at the average between the two. So that's how we simplified it. And then we did projections based off of how many give tokens are there now. And we projected growth. So you can see in column I and column J at row 35, you can see like, okay, this is our projected amount of give at each date. And then all the rest is like some crazy math that we do to make these projections on the on it. Yeah. And so then we just kind of like, what would it take to get 19? Well, we were going for 20%, but then we wanted round numbers. So we did 19.54.
Cool. Great. Wow. I'll look into it. Okay.
Yeah, Mitch, and if you look into it and you're confused, you want to just give me a call and I can walk you through it. And that goes for anybody else who's interested in this as well. And I could otherwise just record a video, but like happy to be like, and this was the logic here. That discussion can be on the forum or, anyway, I'm available.
Okay. Cool. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. There's a little PSA here with the NRGive distribution. That's going to be running until November 10th. There's a few votes that look like they just failed from quorum with Carlos and Algene. I saw Algene put up a new one today. I don't think Carlos is going to do it until, well, he's gone on vacation, so that kind of sucks for him. Do you guys think I should put one up for Carlos? Because nobody voted no, it's just there wasn't enough quorum.
Yeah, let's just put one up for Carlos. Poor guy's on vacation.
Yeah.
We work him so hard. We only have 2 backend guys. This poor guy, he needs a vacation.
Okay. Okay. Any contrary thoughts? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's running until November 10th. And then hopefully that'll be the last one that we ever do like that. Cool. Great. If there's no questions, I have one more thing here. My favorite topic of the whole month, the hackathon. It's on here. It's from last week, so go ahead, Griff.
Well, it seems like actually people pretty much want us to even give more amount, but I don't think, I think it's just too close. What I'd say is, hey, feel good about giving us more if you want to give more, but it's a resounding, no one said no, which is pretty amazing. So it's definitely a resounding yes. Did everyone in here actually sign up for the hackathon and apply? Algene, are you there for the hackathon? I know. I tried to DM everyone.
Wait, hold on. So everybody has to sign up for the hackathon now.
I think everyone should apply for the hackathon. Not everyone will get accepted to the hackathon.
So they should put up the ETH, the $80. And if they don't find a team, then they're on the hook for it. Like, what's
You only if you apply, you don't have to take ETH until you get accepted. So not at all.
People might get pleased but to eat.
So hold on.
And we will find a team.
Okay. So you're telling people that they have to sign up for this hackathon. And if they don't, then they have to pay for their housing and for their plane ticket?
No.
Make that clear, because it's been super unclear for weeks now.
It's not. You don't have to. You don't have to pay if you don't hack, but you have to at least put yourself in a position to hack. Like, please.
So you're telling people they have to apply for the hackathon?
I am no one's direct boss. I'm very few people's direct boss. I'm not going to say you have to, but I am going to beg you to. So you're not going to get fired if you don't. If you say no, I just don't want to hack. I want to hang out. Any
will they not? And if they say no, I don't want to hack, do they have to pay for these extra things now?
No.
Okay, because that's not clear for a lot of people, and the way that you're pushing it makes it less clear.
No, it's only if you. The only reason you need to pay for the other weeks is if you want to keep 100% of your hackathon.
Okay.
I'm sorry that that's not clear.
But there's some things in the forum, but then there's things that I'm getting DM'd about from you, and so it's like the different things are getting mixed together, and so people have been asking me in other things. They're like, if I don't want to do the hackathon, does that mean I have to pay for my stay in Turkey? People are asking me that because they're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why they're asking you. I'm DMing everyone. They should be asking me. But they do not. If they don't want to do the hackathon, like they're gonna need to talk to me about why. Because like I understand that like Frashell and I had a nice conversation. It's like, but I'm an accountant. Like, I'm not like a hacker. And it's like, honestly, you might not get accepted to the hackathon, but we should try, because I've seen an amazing account. So I'm going to hack. I signed up, I applied for the thon, I'm going to hack too, So if people don't find a team, and maybe Frashell and I will do an accounting project,
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that was my question too. Like, if we don't get accepted, because I mean I signed up, but if we don't get accepted, then we're not expected to pay for anything.
No. The only reason that you would have to pay is if you were like, no, I have this really awesome hackathon project and it's going to win like thousands of dollars, and I don't want to share it with Giveth. I want to take it for myself. That's the only reason why it's like, okay, well, you could do that, but you have to opt out. But it's only if you want to keep not 30, keep 100% of the profits from your hack. If you're there and you get sick and you just decide not to hack, or you know what, you meet an amazing person and you go out on lots of dates and you're like, no, I don't want to hack because I just met the love of my life. It's cool. It's cool. You don't have to pay for your hotel, or you find a huge opportunity for something that you really want to pursue. Whatever. It's cool. It's cool. It's not like an obligation, and you won't have to pay for your stuff. All I can do is beg, because we need the money.
Okay. All right, that makes it more clear. Okay. All right, anything else? Okay. Well, that's all I have for this call. There is the Stewards call. I think you guys would just want to move into that if there's nothing else to talk about related to governance? I think the only thing I can say. Go ahead.
I don't see Almond. Are there any other stewards missing? Franco? As long as they're... I just want to make sure that they're not just going to show up 4 minutes late or something.
Where is Franco? Okay. Well, if you're not sticking around for the steward's call, then I would say safe to leave. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit in this channel. Go ahead.
Well, I have some more announcements. So please, I know, Fershell, especially you, Fershell. I don't know, did you vote on ENS small grants yet? So please, everyone, small grants are crazy this time. We are in the lead for ENS small grants, and the way small grants work, Fershell has no voting power, damn. The way small grants work is there's a bunch of random people who all get 100 votes. And I don't understand who gets 100 votes or for why, but go check. Go check if you have voting power. You have to switch to mainnet. The app is the voting system for ENS small grants round is broken this time. Like, it's just bad. But it could smile in our favor. Check to see if you have any voting power. If you have any voting power, you have as much as I do. So everyone has the same amount. It's like one person, one vote this time. And you get 100 points. If you vote for one project, all 100 of your points go to that one project. If you vote for two projects, then each project gets 50 points. To vote Giveth, in the lead. Damn. But try it out, and Roadkey's killing it on Octant. They don't need the money. First place gets 5 ETH, second place gets 3, third place gets 2, fourth through 10th place gets 0.3 ETH. So basically, it's sad, but we should pull our voting power from all other projects and just pile in to Giveth to make sure that we win it, Yeah.
Who's ahead of us? 1 point.
No one. We're in first place right now, but we have to maintain it. Yeah. Rocky is number 2. They're not far behind. One person could vote for Rocky and take first place away. So. Yep. And then Octant closes in 3 days. Is there anything else? I think that's it.
So wait, quick question on the voting card thing. So there's no explanation of like who got that voting power or why?
I don't fully understand it. There's like there's a bunch of random things that you could have done to interact with ENS. Like if you ever applied for a small grants round, if you got some of these random NFTs at different events, like it's just there's a lot of ways you could have gotten that 100 points, but like the thing is normally I have thousands of points of voting power, and a bunch of other people have like 10, or something. But now everyone has 100. So my voting power is as much as Zepti's voting power, and like, so it's really a rock the vote kind of a thing, which it's never been before.
Oh, no.
There was a form earlier, Griff, that I saw. Apparently, you have to answer a form where they asked why they should give you a voting power. But I think it's too late now.
Yeah. I think even some people who didn't fill out the form still got voting power, so it's worth checking.
When does it end?
22 hours.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So there's not really time for like a social media push. Or should we put something out today?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's on mainnet. Oh, sorry. Sorry. What are you checking out, Mitch?
Oh, I made a mistake here that Rochelle tried to correct. So there was that EVM CRISPR thing, and I made a mistake. So you can see it made a separate vote. It's like should we vote yes on this vote, and then so it makes like a separate vote every time you enter it. So it's like it should be no, we're not voting on if we should vote yes. It's like we should vote yes on this, and I made a small correction, but that's why I was sharing it.
So do we need to do I need to do anything?
One more person needs to vote on that link I sent.
55.
Yeah, and it will pass. Cool. Well, we're into the stewards part, Griff. Do you want to do it here? Do you want Jake here? Do you want Franco here?
No.
Jake.
We can.
Okay.
Welcome. We're going to start this out with what was your working group chapter's focus, and what was your and what will be your focus for the next 2 weeks, and if you need anything. So maybe I'll start it with Lauren.
Okay. So yeah, working group focus for QF. Obviously was the optimism QF round that we just ran, and so we still have in the next coming 2 weeks we'll have finishing that out and just dispersing funds. Also, we have that Polygon round coming up, but there's not too much for us to do there besides kind of wait for them. Also, though, we're getting ENS is interested in doing a round, Medipil's interested in doing a round, and Talent DAO are all interested in running QF rounds. So I'm going to be doing a lot of kind of meeting with them and figuring out who's going to be the next QF rounds that we run. And then something I really want to do with the QF working group is try to create some documentation around the things we need to do in order to set up QF rounds, and then start to empower more people so that it's more of kind of a streamlined thing. We can kind of churn out QF rounds instead of just where I have to do a lot of managing and just remembering of everything. And then in the Give economy side, we got that we talked in the Gov call about the notify reward, extending Give power incentives. And then there's not too much else going on in the Give economy, just things that come up okay, yeah, we're going to have give backs, how we do give backs on ETC, and how we do give backs for superfluid integration, those things. But yeah, so I'm thinking about the working group proposal and what we should include in it or not include in it. And yeah, I'm kind of starting to think I don't know that it's I don't know if we can really have a separate Give economy working group proposal anymore. It seems somehow it kind of falls a lot under DAP stuff. And if we wanted to have it as its own separate thing, then we'd need more of a budget for it that we currently don't have. So I'm thinking of kind of just trying to move things into maintenance mode, at least for Give economy side of things, and then really just try to streamline QF so that we can get more revenue in, essentially. And I'll pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Lauren. The last 2 weeks, half of our working group has been on vacation, so there hasn't been a whole lot of focus except for just getting all the data together, ready to create our working group proposal. And so that will definitely be our focus for the next 2 weeks is getting the proposal up live and have the different options. We've got a Meet the Makers coming up this week, so that's a lot of our focus right now, making sure that everything's prepared for that, and praise Serby for taking on Nicola's position there. And yeah, just getting ready for the next steps. We've been monitoring the Telegram group, and that's been going well. And I think that's really the most things that we've been focusing on right now. Ambassador program is pretty much done at this point. We just got a few more things. And yeah, so just looking at what's on the horizon for the next quarter. And I will pass it to Almond.
Thanks. I saw Lauren unmuted. I don't know if you wanted to add something, Lauren.
No. I was just switching from my phone to my computer.
Oh, cool. Sorry. So the focus for comms, a lot of fundraising, a lot of optimism. Honestly, the focus for comms has been optimism, everything around optimism. So QF, we already did all the comms for the round. So now we need to follow up on communicating the stats, communicating the results, telling projects how to withdraw their funding, etc. And then on the Retro PGF application, gathering all the stats, making sure that we have the strategy for the voting period of the Retro PGF round. So a lot of optimism work. So that has been huge. Then also, we've been working on other fundraising things like Epoch One communication. So make sure that the content is created, make sure that the outreach effort is happening. That has been important too. Then also, and I think this is cool. Lauren is doing a great job opening issues with the new product announcements like Ethereum Classic. Make sure that comms is aware of that Ethereum Classic is happening. Also on the updates regarding the DApp and mobile that we updated that too. So we're communicating that today. So a lot of app new features and upgrades have been communicating too. And then next in the pipeline, we have Gitcoin. So start working on all the Gitcoin efforts, do the outreach, do the announcements, do the content, join the Twitter spaces. So make sure that that's happening, and I really want to put effort on that today and tomorrow, because Wednesday and Thursday I will be off, and then Istanbul's happening. So Gitcoin, very important. And then as Lauren was mentioning, just we are aware about the Polygon round coming. Not, as you mentioned, not a lot to do right now, but just have that on the scope that will start, and we'll need to prepare a bunch of comms, tools, and efforts around that. So I would say that those are the things, and I'll pass it to Mitch.
Sorry, I was muted. So I could talk about the DApp first. Big thing is, again, as Alma mentioned, the wallet connect going out, getting devs on supporting more wallets on mobile. Wrapping up, we got the multi-sig feature, so like letting people sign in with their multi-sigs and, use Give Power and make profiles and all that stuff. That is almost done. We are blocked because our Colombians went on vacation. They're hanging in Italy. So they were the main people who made it happen. So I kind of have to say, Ramin, here's this thing that somebody else built. Try and understand it and make sure it works. So that's I don't even know if we can do it. So we're kind of stuck. I need to pass off the work to someone else to get it to the finish line. Superfluid is underway. We're lacking backend devs to make good progress. And it's something totally new. So some of the devs are struggling with the documentation to understand how the system works. So Cherik and Ali Reza are working on that mostly. And some last minute design changes are happening as well, unfortunately. So we're trying to push ahead, but we really just, with Carlos gone and Mohammed having to work on QF stuff, it's hard. The last thing I think maybe worth mentioning is Solana integration is starting. So Prati and Monique are doing some planning, and Tossin is making the designs. And I suppose the other last thing I promise is the homepage improvements. Marco has a final version of the donor homepage for review. Lauren is working on copy along with Surbi, and we're just waiting for the projects homepage to be done design. Anything else you want to add there? Maybe I'll pass it to Monique for development if he wants to add anything else.
Just adding something to the dev that the ETC also went out in the last 2 weeks. And for development, I think I have to engage more creative on our flows because, the chapter management has a meaning, and I think it's more, a person who has more insights over, their feelings, their career paths. And yeah, this is for, the focus for my next 2 weeks. And also in Istanbul, I think if we can do some, team preparation, team forming, and, talking about doing some retrospective, it's good. It would be very good. And the last week focus was, as you mentioned, ETC. I mostly work on, and just the routine resource planning management stuff. Nothing that much in development chapter. I can pass it to Kai.
I can make it short. We're still onboarding Nicolas. We have so many things. It's crazy. And so for the past sprint, we are back with our alert system, which is running great now. The monitoring is working great now. Staging is really looking good, and now we saw that there are so many things happening at General Magic that we need to widen the support net, because that was all on Moshe Hub's shoulders, and of course Nicolas should also step in, but he's very new, and so we're widening everything we have, or the plan is to have everything we have in Giveth for also General Magic in the long run, so full support and incident coverage. But we of course need to know all the deployments and have all the permissions for that to work. Is anyone still missing? Or questions?
I guess fundraising is just part of DAO-Ops, right? But maybe I can just bring it in as like a bonus fundraising.
I would love to bring it in separately.
Oh boy!
Please tell us.
Well, that would be fun. Fundraising ENS small grants is the push today. One of the things that that's interesting is that the galaxy as a whole has a lot of interdependence, and most projects are pretty independent from like how much retro PGF Giveth is going to get is pretty much like we do our marketing. efforts and we make our best effort, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, it matters, but it's not going to change drastically how much we get. But pairwise right now is like in a make it or break it kind of moment where it could, if we kill it with pairwise, it could get $1 million in retro PGF. If we do a really bad job with pairwise and it's not usable, we might get nothing, or not nothing, but maybe we only get like, $10K or something, right? So I just want to encourage everyone to take some time to play with pairwise this week and give feedback on pairwise, because it will have a large impact on the rest of the year inside of Giveth as well, because it's a major funding stream for our inner circles here. And the other big thing is that Octant is going. We have like just a few days left in Octant, so obviously check that. And regen score, retro PGF, like I put all this stuff in the community slide, but I really mean it. Like, give us some support in retro PGF. It's $30 million. $30 million is being distributed, and we have the Giveth house up there. We have so many projects up there, so don't be shy about retweeting and everything. Like, that's got to be our big promotion, and that's really starting not this week but next week, right? Yeah, I think that's it for fundraising. The other thing is Breachies is I asked Katabe and Suga to basically stop working on fundraising for Giveth, and am passing all the things to Breachies, and Breachies is going to try to take it on with support from Katabe and Suga in the near term, but in the long run, like starting after Istanbul, they will like stop taking on other grants, and Breachies will work with Yas and Lauren on fundraising, and all of us on fundraising, and kind of be the point person for Giveth fundraising, which it feels like Giveth has been lacking for a long time. So at least in the short run, I think that's probably the best option. Breachies did a really great job with ETH Mexico and was able to get them a bunch of sponsors. And so I'm hoping that she can also take on leading the charge for getting sponsors for QF and grants and basically all things fundraising Giveth. Yep, I think that's the fundraising plan. And the last 2 weeks we've just been, retro PGF all the way and Octant.
Cool. Well, I think I'm the last one to go. So we'll transition into DAO ops. I like this flow, we can go DApp, development, DevOps, and then I can get a break to think about the next thing, and then I'm not totally stumped. DAO ops. Again, like some of you guys have been saying, people have been on vacation. So, Heather and Nicola out. That's like maybe half the working group for the last few weeks. But we did been making improvements to Clockify. Freshell got our time off thing working, so now people can take their time off and track their time off inside the Clockify app, and it gives you this beautiful calendar view. So that's no more of this madness of sifting through the team availability Discord channel and trying to piece together who's in, who's out. So that's cool. And I think a part of madness, making sure things still function on a critical level while trying to figure out the next solution. Breachies, you got some feedback there. Breachies, can you mute? Sorry, there's some feedback coming from you. Thank you. Supporting rewards, to do reputation tokens. Getting Karma updated. The cool thing is that I was able to, this is I'm very proud of this. I'm going to tell you guys all about this, is I managed to send a vote on Optimism and was able to send out givebacks I was able to send it out on like Optimism Gorley. So that works. It's just the unfortunate part is that speaking to Lauren about the Give Economy budget and all these things, it's like to actually make those changes so Ashley could use it, we would have to pay SEM to make changes to EVM CRISPR, which I don't think is within our budget right now because it's not critical. So Sam Interesting said he's going to take the work that we've done here and apply in the hackathon for the Connects grant. So maybe he'll win some money to build it for us in the hackathon. So something. Other than that, offboarding guidelines. I'm waiting for Nicola and most importantly Heather to come back to do the next steps. Our proposal passed with Grow. So getting the team together and doing the planning for that. The Buddy Bot from Kai is coming along, but needs more user feedback and dev work. Mostly feedback from Nico. And sorry, that's a lot of like different scattered things, but I think that's pretty much from DevOps or from DAOOps, and I'll pass it back to Griff.
Cool. That's very cool. Well, so those are great updates. As far as like ecosystem updates, did some accounting with Freshell, and we are in a tough spot, guys. I just gotta be like straight up frank with you. We need to really focus on trying to get revenue within Giveth. And I also ask if we can spend out our reserves or like try to make sure, like look at how much money we have and do a little audit there and actually like spend it in the next couple of months, because the issue is that General Magic doesn't have very many paying clients right now. And this puts me in a tough spot where I'm running short of liquid capital to really support the Galaxy in full force. So like we need to really figure out how to bring external capital into the Galaxy. The most direct path is General Magic clients. And hopefully we can have some success in DevConnect, finding clients and telling people about our services that we can offer. But in the meantime, for this month, like we should really try to not start too many new Giveth projects that aren't, for paying for grants or something like that. And, projects that are like, let's redo the homepage again. Like, I don't know, like, I don't think that that's like worth all of our time. And we really need not to be trying to find work for people. We need to be like trying to do work that will bring in revenue for the next couple of months. The problem is that we put in a lot of effort into Retro PGF and all these Optimism grants, and like we have good revenue coming in from those things, but the Optimism grants are locked until mid next year. And the Retro PGF starts, the earliest we'll get some streaming for that is February. So we are in a tight spot, and we need to batten down the hatches and reduce our spending where we can, focusing on fundraising efforts and grants and these kinds of things. And trying to go into maintenance mode on things that we, are not critical. But things like Solana or even multi-sigs and mobile, I think these are great things. I'm not saying we should stop them, but we should really, before we take on new projects within Giveth, we should really focus on like how is this going to bring revenue to Giveth in the short term?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, talking about that homepage, it became a monster, and I don't know how this happened, but that is something that we said we would do in the proposal that people voted on. You know, we said we were going to improve these things based on marketing suggestions, and then it became a monster. Now we have this A/B testing. Now we have what I consider a total redesign of the homepage, and I'm like, where does this happen? And I complain, and people have pushback, and you know, the work's halfway done, and I was totally kept out of the loop on like the scale of it. So I'm saying to the people here that like I'm disappointed with the way that that's gone, because it turned into a way bigger project than I was hoping for. But we said that we would do work in that area, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I use that as an example because it's one of the ones that is like kind of funny to me, because we just redid the homepage like not so recently and or in the not so distant future. But I think that it's more, and I don't want to say, hey, let's stop everything that we're doing. It's an emergency. It's not like that. But I am going to start making an effort, and I already have started to make an effort to reduce salary hours towards Giveth and make it so that, like, you know, yeah, if we need you to work on a project in Giveth, then you work on that project. But like going to a random call and charging us for it is not something that we can afford to manage right now. You know, our work and our hours that we put on Giveth should be really focused on what will bring short-term revenue. And right now that seems to be quadratic funding is great, our grants, and even like, you know, expanding chains or, you know, adding wallet compatibility. This adds our user base. There you could make an argument on how that brings profit to Giveth, right, in the short term. So like adding multi-sigs, adding Coinbase Wallet and Wallet Connect, those are not efforts that should stop. We just need to be conscious about the work that we are taking on and figure out, like, what is the strategy? How does this add short-term revenue for Giveth before February? You know? Another thing that we should consider is what it would take to run multiple QF rounds at the same time, because this Polygon round is going to give us 10K. That's amazing, you know? At least 10K plus all the, you know, the 5% on donations that we get. So that's a clear revenue stream that is huge. And, you know, we're putting everything on Lauren's shoulders, and it's not fair. So, because she needs help for us to succeed there. But yeah, I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I can tell you is the situation is relative. It's not dire, but we're moving towards dire. You know, we're not in a good place. So yeah. Trying to get clients for GM, making sure we have a successful retro PGF round. These are, you know, the galaxy is a whole right now, you know, like as in like, we have to consider it's not just Giveth that impacts Giveth, but actually if Pairwise does really well in retro PGF, that frees up capital that I can, you know, allocate towards buying Give tokens so that we can continue to build out Giveth.
You know, I think we're kind of like missing sometimes is like a little bit of like this Stewards call is in some way supposed to be kind of like an alignment thing, but it feels very disjointed, you know, where we're just kind of like, here's what I'm doing on my neck. Here's what I'm doing on my neck. Okay, now Griff's saying a thing, rather than kind of like where we could maybe talk about like what are the priorities and like how we're going to be getting these revenue streams, and then what each working group like can do in order to support that effort. Like, I feel like it's like still we're very much like as working groups building in our corners and not having enough of this like overlap. So like, what if we could make the Stewards call a place where we talk about like those priorities and then like have that trickle out into working groups instead of just like this being kind of like a place where we like all sort of are distracted working in the background and then somebody's telling them what they're doing in their niche, you know? Because like, I mean, we could talk about like, you know, Mish could say like the things that the DAP working group are working on and then the ones that are like getting revenue. And it's like, okay, these are going to be the most important ones. And then it's like, you know, maybe like communities working on kind of like one marketing outreach effort, but actually it should be like brought in to be supporting like some other effort that we're doing around retro PGF or something like that. Like, I feel like we just need these like space for alignment, you know, or somehow to make things more aligned.
Cool.
I mean, I feel like we're just starting to talk. Yeah, I mean, it's like the call is over now, but like this is the first moment that we started talking about things that I thought were like really useful. Otherwise, it was just kind of like random progress reports that we do in the community call. You know?
Sure. I mean, listen, nobody had any ideas. I said I wanted to have a stewards call, but I'm like, what do you want to talk about? And this is like the thing, and I shouldn't be the one like deciding what we're going to talk about in the stewards. And
I mean, it's just not criticism to you. I'm just saying like something we can do better in the next call. And like, let's try to start with these like important prioritizations instead of so much time on check-ins.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at Griff because I want Griff to lead these because this is like when he talks for 15 minutes, I get so much better information, you know, than what I get the whole rest of the 2 weeks I get from him.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think I can do a better job at organizing this call, and we can make it more of like a, you know, hey, here's the crisis this week. Yeah, and also just the ecosystem context. You know, I feel like in general in Giveth we really build in our own silo, like we're building something cool for us, but like. Now we actually have revenue streams, which is so fucking cool. We've never made this much money in Giveth. Not even close. We have a really tough spot from now until February. Like through February, we have a tough spot because retro PGF is something that we've been planning on and working towards. It just doesn't pay out until then. And so we just have to minimize costs. Like it's gonna have to be part of the equation. So, and get GM clients, you know, the fact that we have this opportunity to work through GM and cover our hours through them is something that we just need to take on. And so I'm talking to individuals who need to limit their hours, and we'll talk a lot more about this in the retreat. So. But that's it. That's our call. We're at time. Sorry for the downer news, but we just gotta be focused and targeted with our time, and we'll make it.
Thanks, Griff. Thanks, Mitch. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.